Hello everyone, I am Karthik AV, Assistant Professor Department of Mechanical Engineering from AJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. So in today's class I will discuss about mechanical subject elements of mechanical engineering. The subject code is 18ME25 or 15. Okay, so some of the topic we already discussed. Till now 4 module is completed. Module 2 turbines, boilers and pumps, that module is completed, and IC engine and refrigeration module 3, that is also completed, and advanced manufacturing and lathe milling machine operation, everything is completed, that is module 5. Along with that robot is also there, that is module 5. And module 4 materials and joining process, and belt drives and gear drives, that is module 4, that is also completed. Today's class will discuss about last topic in EME, that is module 1. Okay, so in this module it is contains the basics. Okay, basic is nothing but energy, what is energy, and how to produce steams in the boilers, and thermodynamic, basic concepts of thermodynamics, what are the laws is there in thermodynamics, that and all will discuss in this module. Along with that some power generation devices like solar power generation, how we can generate with the help of solar and nuclear, and global warming, global depletion, everything we are going to study in this module. Okay, so little bit boring in first concept, and the next concept is very interesting, so we'll see one by one. Okay, so total 4 module is already completed. This is 5th module in elements of mechanical engineering, so that is energies. Okay, totally basics knowledge of elements. Okay, so first we are going to study what is energy. So energy, we are study about energy, right? What is energy? Energy is nothing but capacity to do work. Capacity to do work, that is called as energy. Okay, so next, most of the energy that we use is mainly derived from conventional energy sources. So conventional energy sources is nothing but non-renewable energy sources. Okay, conventional, non-renewable is nothing but what it is, we can use day by day energy, but it is not renewable. Okay, so it is ended at a certain after long years. If you use continuously using that energy, it will be ended after a some years. Okay, that is nothing but non-renewable energy. So most of the energy that we use is mainly derived from conventional energy sources, so like petroleum, diesel, that and all good example for conventional energy sources. Next, due to the vast demand of energy, the rate of depletion of these resources has reached low levels. Okay, so from the past so many years we are using this conventional energy sources, so it will be depleting after a few years. Okay, depleting day by day, so because of that it is reaches to low levels. So this situation has directed to us to seek alternate energy sources such as solar energy, wind energy, ocean, and biomass energy, hydel energy. These are the energy we are going to concentrate. Why? Because non-conventional conventional energy is depleting day by day. So we have to concentrate on other type of energy also, and along with that, what is the disadvantages of this conventional energy also we are going to study. Okay, and what is the advantages of this non-conventional energy sources, that also we are going to study in this module. Okay, so conventional energy sources, it is nothing but non-renewable energy. So conventional energy sources is nothing but non-renewable energy. So what is that non-renewable energy? The energy resources that get exhausted evenly in future are classified as non-renewable energy. So exhaustible energy is also called as conventional energy sources. Exhaustible energy, so it will be removes lot of pollution to the atmosphere, so that is nothing but exhaustible. So exhaustible energy is nothing but conventional energy sources. The example for conventional energy sources is coal, natural gas, petrol, etc. These are the good example for conventional energy sources. Okay, so next we'll see what is non-conventional energy sources. So non-conventional energy sources is nothing but renewable energy sources. So energy resources that are produced continuously in nature, and that will not get exhausted. So that will not get exhausted, and we can use it, will be produced continuously by nature. Okay, by nature it is producing. So what is it is called as renewable energy or non-conventional energy sources. The example for non-conventional energy sources are, one is solar energy, it is continuously obtained from the nature, and wind energy also same thing, and biomass is also same thing, and tidal energy, and fuel cells. Okay, fuel cell is nothing but p-n junction diodes. So based on that, it will absorb the solar radiation and producing into convert that into electricity. So with the help of fuel cells, okay, that we'll discuss later. So that concept is nothing but photovoltaic cell. So that will discuss later. Okay, so that these are the example for non-conventional energy sources. Okay, next, the form of energy. So different form of energy, what are those? First one is chemical energy. With the help of chemical reaction, we can produce some amount of energy, like uranium isotopes. Okay, because of that heating energy, the neutron hit to the uranium isotope and splitting into several parts. Along with that, it will produces the heat as well as light energy. That is one of the chemical reaction energy. So and one more is a photovoltaic cell. Because of that chemical reaction, so we can produce some amount of energy, like that energy. So nuclear energy, I already explained what is that nuclear energy. Nuclear uranium isotope, because nuclei neutron is hitting to the uranium isotope and producing the energy. That type of energy is called as nuclear energy. And third one is electrical energy. So power production, okay, with the help of hydel or many method is there, with the help of wind, everything I will explain one by one. And heat energy, and sound energy, and potential energy, these are the form of energies. And source of energy, to obtain these many energy, so what are the sources? So first one is fossil fuels. So fuel cells, so, it is also different category of fuels is there, petrol, diesel, gases, and everything is there. That is comes under non-renewable energy sources. And flow of river, that is nothing but hydel energy. The flowing of water, we can build dam in a flowing water. Then that energy, the flowing for water we are stored with the help of dam, then that is nothing but stored energy, is nothing but potential energy. With the use of that potential energy, we can produce the power. Okay, so that I will tell you, hydel power energy. So next, solar energy. So solar energy, with the help of absorber plate, we can absorb the solar radiation solar radiation and emitted with the help of solar radiation we can produce powers. Okay, or else we can use this solar energy for different application also. Next, wind energy, the flowing of air, converting that flowing of air is nothing but kinetic energy, converting that kinetic energy into mechanical energy, and mechanical energy into electrical energy with the help of the blades. Okay, so that is nothing but wind energy. And last one is tidal energy, tides. Okay, in the sea tides we can produce some amount of energy, that is nothing but tidal energy. These are the source of energy. This is the form of energy. We'll discuss one by one. Okay, next, classification of energy sources. So energy sources may be mainly classified into two categories. So what are those? Renewable energy sources and non-renewable energy sources. These are the two main category under energy resources. So renewable energy sources is nothing but what? So what is that? It is produces continuously in nature. It will not get exhausted. Okay, that is nothing but renewable energy sources. It is also called as non-conventional energy. Renewable energy sources is also called as non-conventional energy, and continuously produce in nature, and that will not get exhausted. That will not get exhausted. Next, second one is non-renewable energy sources. So what is that non-renewable energy sources? So the energy resources that get exhausted, okay, that get exhausted, that is nothing but non-renewable energy sources. It is also called as conventional energy sources. So example for renewable energy sources: wind energy, energy from the flow of wind, that is nothing but wind energy. And geothermal energy, that is an example for renewable energy sources. It is heat energy stored deep inside the earth, that is nothing but the geothermal energy. So it is a heat energy stored deep inside the earth, inside storing of inside the earth. The heat is stored in a deep inside the earth, that is nothing but geothermal energy. And third one is tidal energy. Tidal is nothing but it is the energy obtained from the tides in oceans. Okay, ocean thermal energy, it is the heat energy obtained from the surface of water in ocean. Surface, with the help of surface of water, we can produce some amount of energy. Next, biomass energy, energy obtained from the organic matter of plants and animals, that is nothing but biomass energy. Next, what is the example for non-renewable energy? So non-renewable energy example is fossil fuels. So coal, petroleum, coal gas and natural gas, and nuclear fuel, uranium. These are the example for non-renewable energy sources. So we'll see what is that renewable energy sources. Renewable sources which are continuously produced in nature and that will not get exhausted. So that will not get exhausted, that is nothing but renewable energy sources. Okay, so solar energy, hydropower energy, wind energy, biomass energy, geothermal energy, these are the good example for renewable energy sources. And next, what is non-renewable energy sources? So non-renewable is nothing but energy sources which have been exhaustible in nature. Okay, exhaustible. Okay, quickly they are exhausted. The example is coal, petroleum and uranium. These are the example for non-renewable energy sources. These are the what is that renewable energy sources? What is the advantages of renewable energy sources, and what is that difference between renewable as well as non-renewable? So non-exhaustible renewable energy sources are non-exhaustible in nature, and non-renewable energy is exhaustible in nature and freely available, naturally available energy, that is nothing but renewable energy, not available freely. So some it is also obtained from the natural only, but some cost is required to produce, is nothing but purification and transferring from one location to another location. So it is not for free, and maintenance cost is less. So initial investment is high in renewable energy, but the maintenance cost is less. Here maintenance cost is more. Why? Because periodically maintenance we have to take. Okay, next, free from pollution. There is no pollution from the renewable energy sources, so pollution is very high in non-renewable energy, and transmission cost is less. So we are not shifting from one position to another position. If you need in a particular position energy, you are installing the equipment there only. Okay, where we need that energy, that renewable energy, that only we are fixing the equipment. So there is no transmission cost in renewable energy, but here transmission cost is more. Why? Because in some other places this energy is available, everywhere it is non-renewable energy is not available. Like petroleum, it is not available, very few quantity of petrol is available in India, like that. So yeah, we are importing from other country, so transportation cost is very high. Okay, next we'll see what is fuel. Okay, what is fuel? So it is a substance that produces energy when burned. Okay, it is a one of the substance that will be produces energy by burning of fuels. Consider one cylinder, piston cylinder arrangement. So IC engine, internal combustion engine. So what happens there? So it will be initially the petrol will be petrol plus air mixture is goes to the cylinder. Because of that, the piston is moving from top dead center to bottom dead center. Then again compression stroke, happens. After compression stroke, burning happens. Because of that burning, what happens? It will produces the energy. It will produces the energy. Then again piston is moving from top dead center to bottom dead center. Then again it will be moving to bottom dead center to top dead center to remove the exhaust gases, remove the waste gases. Okay, so it is a substance that produces energy when burnt. Okay, so that is nothing but fuel. So example for fuel is wood, petrol, diesel, natural gas. These are the good example for fuel. Next, types of fuels. So different types of fuels is there. So that is nothing but solid fuel, liquid fuel and gaseous fuel. So solid fuel example is wood, coal and charcoal, etc. So these are the good example for solid fuels. And second, liquid fuel, petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. These are the example for liquid fuel. And third one is gaseous fuel. So gaseous fuels, LPG, biogas, hydrogen, etc. These are the good example for gaseous fuel. So it is mainly fuel cell is mainly fuels is mainly classified into three categories: solid fuels, liquid fuel as well as gaseous fuels. Next we'll see one by one. So what is that solid fuels? First one is wood. Okay, so oldest type used in and large quantity and costless in the last last few decades. We are using this wood for the to produce the heat energy. Producing heat energy by burning of this wood, we are getting heat, and we are use that heat for cooking everything. Okay, so next, used as domestic fuel for cooking, heating, etc. So this as used for cooking and heating, etc. And not used for commercial application due to high moisture content. So it burning of fuel, so burning of wood, it produces heat, but it produces a lot of ash content, is nothing but impurity, moisture contents, and low calorific value. Low calorific value is nothing but the burning of fuel, how much amount of heat will be produced per burning of fuel. Okay, so it will be large quantity of wood is required to produce a small quantity of heat. So that calorific value of this fuel is very less. Okay, understood, right? Calorific value. So I will explain later what is the meaning of calorific value. Calorific value is nothing but amount of heat produces by burning of certain quantity of fuel. So is nothing but, so high quantity of fuel is required to produce a small quantity of heat. Okay, small quantity of heat, that is nothing but if that is called as low calorific value, low calorific value. So it is not used in commercial application due to high moisture content. Okay, due to high moisture content it is not used in commercial application. Okay, next is coal. Okay, so how coal will forms, that we'll see one by one in the next slide. So initially the it if that coal is most extensively used solid fuel in the present day. Okay, solid fuels, the coal usually is in the form of solid fuels where we can use this coal. So coal, burning of this coal, and we can produce the electricity. So some power plant we are producing in India also, in some of the coal power plant is there. In there we are burning of coal, and with the and it will produce as a heat. That heat is utilized to run the turbine, and because of that we can produce the energy. How to produce energy? That initially the burning of coal, that will be produces heat. Heat is flows in a tube, then that will be hit to the turbine blade, and because of that heat energy, the turbine blade will be rotate. It is similar to that of steam. Okay, it is similar to that of steam. Then turbine blade will be rotate. That is nothing but moving of heat is nothing but kinetic energy. Moving of heat is nothing but kinetic energy. Then that kinetic energy hit to the blades, and because of that hitting, that kinetic energy is converted into rotary motion, is nothing but mechanical energy. Then that mechanical energy rotation is coupled to the generator, and we can achieve the electrical energy. Generator is a device which is used to convert rotary energy to mechanical electrical energy, mechanical energy to electrical energy with the help of generator. In this way we can achieve the electrical energy. Okay, so that is a most of the power plant in India's some of the power plant we are using this coal for producing power. It is produced by the decay of plant material for million of years. Okay, it will be buried under the earth. Okay, so the buried under the earth and compacted under pressure and temperature below the surface of earth. So how we can produce that coal, we'll see one by one. The main constituent of coal are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, moisture, etc. Okay, so various form of coal. Initially the cutted tree that will be placed above the earth, right? So that is nothing but peat. Then it is slowly converted into lignite. Then it is after a few years it is converted into subbituminous. Then after a few years it is converted into bituminous. Then it becomes a anthracite. So we are obtained coal at this at this port, at this place, so that we have to remove all this content to get the purified coal. Okay, then we are that coal we are using for power production. Okay, so these are the methods. So around 100 years is required to convert this into this coal. So coal is one of the non-renewable energy sources. Why? Because it is very difficult to obtain coal. So nowadays it is depleting day by day, and it will be after 50 years it will be ended. Okay, so we have to concentrate for renewable energy sources. We'll see what is the, what is this. Okay, one by one. So first one is peat, second one is lignite, third one is bituminous, fourth one is anthracite, and briquetted coal and pulverized coal. Okay, so first one is peat. Okay, here you can see. So we can this type of form. Okay, so this type of form is called as peat. Okay, that black color soil. Okay, black color soil, that is nothing but peat. It is also a naturally available solid fuel which is mainly formed by partly decomposed plant. Partly decomposed, so decomposed plant we are placing above the earth. Okay, so partially decomposed plant, minerals and wood below the ground. Wood below the ground, then we are obtain the peat. Okay, the contain 90% moisture content. Here you can see here 90% moisture content, 50% volatile matter, and 650 k calorific value, kilo calorific value per kg. Okay, and calorific value, and 5% ash content. 5% ash content, these are the substituent of peat. Okay, so 90% moisture content, 50% volatile matter, and 650 kilo calorie per kg calorific value, and 5% ash content. Okay, so it is visible like this. Okay, this type of sand. Okay, so peat is usually visible like this. Next we'll see lignite. So lignite is visible like this. It is also in solid form only. They often have clay. Okay, brown in color. So clay and brown in color like appearance, and are associated with the moisture content up to 60%. So it is having moisture around 60%. High ash content 3.5 to 7.5%. 5000 kilocalorie per kg calorific value, and 45% volatile matter. So usually it is visible like brown in color, and these are the constituents. So moisture content is up to 60%, and ash content is 7.5%, and it is like brown in color and clay type of color. Okay, so the calorific value is 5000. So next 45% volatile matter, and they are usually the brown in color. Okay, so and break easily during transport. Okay, you can easily break while transporting, or you can by hand you can easily break that type of lignite. Okay, and used in generation of electricity. So this itself we can use for generation of electricity, but the ash content is very high. Okay. Next, bituminous coal. So it is visible like this, bituminous coal. These coals are denser and harder than lignite coal. Okay, it is compared to denser and harder than lignite coal. So it is very difficult to break. Okay, it is very difficult to break. Have higher calorific value, so 9,000. Okay, and are very easy to handle, very easy to handle. Denser, why? Because it is denser, so we can easy to handle, but calorific value is higher. Okay, and so it is used in industrial application, firing of furnace, thermal power plant. In thermal power plant also we can use bituminous type of coal. Okay, and contains 75 to 90% carbon, 20 to 45% volatile matter. So it is contain 90% of carbon. So carbon content is high, is nothing but it producing more ash. Okay, ash is nothing but impurity, moistures. Okay, so and volatile matter. Next is anthracite coal. So anthracite coal is visible like this. After that bituminous coal, we are getting this anthracite coal. It is the most mature and very hard form of solid fuel and shining black luster. Okay, black color luster. It is shining. It is shining like black color, and it has vast application in boilers, metallurgical furnace, etc. It is a vast application. So most of the situation in furnace and all, this type of anthracite coal we are using. Okay, so next 90 to 98% carbon content burns slowly with the great heat and less smoke. Okay, great heat and less smoke, and 9,000 cal per kg. So 9,000 calorific value of this anthracite coal is 9,000. Moisture less than 10%, moisture less than 10%. So carbon content is how much? 90 to 98%. So it is mainly used in boilers. Why it is boiler is nothing but what? It is a power producing devices, is nothing but producing steams with the help of boilers. Next one is briquetted coal. Okay, briquetted coal. This is the actual figure of a briquetted coal. It is powder form, or else it is like this type of structure. It is a kind of artificial fuel. So it is a artificial fuel which is produces from a coarse powder of coal by means of binder or in and applying high pressure. So initially anthracite coal, if you heat and break, then you will get this type of structure. Then binder, with the help of binder we can get this type of structure. This is a artificial fuel, and applying pressure you will get this type of uh, uh, final shape. Okay, so next one is pulverized coal. Pulverized coal is nothing but powder form of coal. Okay, powder form of coal. So after getting it is a powder form. So with the help of machine you convert that anthracite coal into powder form. So that is nothing but pulverized coal. So low grade coal with the high ash content is produced to fine and uniform size, which is known as pulverized coal. So this is called as pulverized coal. Okay, so powder form of coal is also called as pulverized coal. The coal in powder form can be carried by pneumatic feeder, and it burns quickly as it enters the burner. As it enters the burner. This is the formation of coal. So initially it was in peat, then it is converted into lignite, then bituminous, then anthracite. Okay, likewise it is moving. So next, coming to the part of liquid fuel. So solid fuels we already studied. So first one is wood, second one is coal. So how to form coal, that also we studied. So I think that much detail is not required for the exam. Just you learn. Okay. Okay. Next, the liquid fuel. So what these are the liquid fuels. So hydrogen, ethanol, petrol, diesel, and kerosene. These are the example for liquid fuels. So first we'll see what is petrol. Okay, it is Also known as gasoline. It is also known as gasoline and is highest and most volatile liquid fuel, chiefly used as a motor fuel. Okay, so but first we are getting crude oil. Okay, from that crude oil we can separate petrol, diesel, kerosene, everything. Okay, then we can use for a particular application. Purification cost is very high, as well as transportation cost is very high in non-renewable energy sources. So it is also known as gasoline and highest and most volatile liquid fuel, cheaply uh, used as a motor fuel. Okay, the gasoline is obtained by distillation from crude petroleum and also comes from natural gas, which is compressed and condensed to produce volatile liquid. Okay, so fractional distillation method we are using to get petroleum and also come from natural gases. Okay, next, how to get kerosene? It is also known as paraffin oil and obtained from the raw petroleum by fractional distillation. While fractional distillation, some of the waste content so in the crude oil, so that is nothing but kerosene. Okay, while fractional distillation from the petroleum oil after gasoline is obtained, kerosene is heavier than the petrol and less volatile. So so crude oil, while fractional distillation, first we are getting the gasoline. So gasoline oil we are mainly used in aeroplane. So that is a pure form and very costlier. Okay, gasoline. Then after that, next higher density of oil is nothing but kerosene. Next higher density of oil is nothing but kerosene. So kerosene, next it will be obtained. Last it will be obtained petroleum. So petroleum content is higher in the kerosene than the gasoline. Okay, so initially obtained gasoline, so that cost is very high. Why? Because very few quantity of gasolines is obtained. Then next one is kerosene, next one is petroleum from the crude oil. Okay, so the density of petroleum is very less compared to other two. Okay, kerosene as well as gasoline. Next one is diesel. The liquid fuel is obtained after petrol and kerosene during fractional distillation is diesel. The liquid fuel is obtained after petrol and kerosene during fractional distillation is diesel. So after obtaining petrol, then it will be obtained the diesel. The remaining quantity is nothing but diesel. It may be obtained by straight distillation, by cracking, or by blending of several oils. We can also get by blending of several oil, but we have to use the fractional distillation method only. Next one is alcohol, the artificial liquid fuel prepared by fermentation and vegetable matters. That is nothing but alcohol. So costlier than petrol and relatively has lower energy content. So costlier, that alcohol is costlier than petrol and relatively lower energy content. So example is methanol and ethanol. So this and all, this is the blending agent. Blending is nothing but, so 80% petrol, along with that some more methanol, if you can you add, then we can use for usual application. Okay, so that is the advantages of this alcohol. Next, advantages of liquid fuel over solid fuels. They have high calorific value and high combustion rate. High calorific value as well as high combustion rate. Combustion can be regulated easily and no residue or ash produced after completing combustion. More eco-friendly than solid fuels. And ignition is top of the combustion. No corrosion during handling and combustion. Easy to handle. These are the advantages. Easy to transport also. So why? Because it is in liquid form, so easy to transfer. So solid is nothing but weight is also very high, and so it is very difficult, and lifting also very difficult. Next, disadvantages. Cost is higher than the solid fuel. Amount of liquid fuel available is less in India than solid fuels, and special containers are required for storage and transportation. Special container is required for storage as well as transportation. Next we'll see the what is that gaseous fuel. So solid fuels we already seen. Next we'll see the gaseous fuel. Liquid fuel also we have gone through. Next we'll see the gaseous fuel. So gaseous fuel may be classified into natural gas which is obtained usually near the petroleum field beneath or the earth surface. So natural gas which is obtained usually near the petroleum field. So petroleum field only that natural gas is also obtained. The manufactured gas which are produced from coal waste materials. From coal waste material we are obtained the manufactured gas. And natural gas, it is obtained from specific location and beneath the earth surface. It is obtained in the specific location and it is also same as petroleum products. It is also obtained from petroleum products only. The main constituents of a gas includes methane, ethane and propane together with small amount of hydrogen, sulfide, carbon dioxide and nitrogen. The main constituent, these are the main constituents of natural gases: methane, ethane, propane together with a small amount of hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide and nitrogen. So next, what is that manufactured gas? Manufactured gas is nothing but coal gas. It is produced by the destructive distillation of bituminous coal. So while destructive distillation of bituminous coal, we are obtained the coal gases, that is nothing but manufactured gas. The major constituents of this coal are carbon monoxide, methane, hydrogen, etc. So these are the main constituents of manufacture coal gases. Next, coke oven gas. Okay, this is produced by destructive distillation of coal in airtight coke oven and hence known as coke oven gas. Coke oven gas, and its character and composition is similar to those of coal gases. It is similar to that of coke gases. Next, producer gases. So it is prepared by partial oxidation of coal and coke or peat when they are burnt with the insufficient quantity of air. While burning of insufficient quantity of air, we are obtained the coke oxidation. It is prepared by partial oxidation of coal. Okay, oxidation of coal, coke or peat when they are burnt with the insufficient quantity of air, then we are obtained a producer gas. It is produced in specially designed retort and has low calorific value. The blast furnace gas, next one is blast furnace gas. It is obtained from smelting. Smelting is one of the process, smelting operation, in which air is forced through the layer of coke and iron ore as pig iron is manufactured. So that then we are getting the blast furnace gas. Then we are obtained the blast furnace gas. This gas is produced as a byproduct of and contains 20% carbon monoxide. 20% carbon monoxide. Sewer gas, it is obtained from the sewage disposal plant in which the fermentation and decay occurs. Fermentation and decay occurs. This is from this we are obtained the sewer gas. So in this class we are already seen the different types of fuel: solid fuel, liquid fuel and gaseous fuels. Along with that, the difference between conventional as well as non-conventional, renewable as well as non-renewable energy sources. So fuel I already discussed. So in that solid fuels, wood as well as coal is also discussed, and in the liquid fuels, so many different petrol, diesel, kerosene and gasoline, these many categories we discuss. And in the gaseous, manufactured gases, so many manufactured gases we'll see seen. Okay, coke gases, coke oven gases, coal gases and producer gases, everything we seen. And along with that, natural gases, how we can produce natural gases. And also we discuss about the calorific value and how to produce the coal, everything we seen, peat, lignite, bituminous, everything we studied in this class. So next class onwards we'll see what is that calorific value and biomass and remaining solar parts and steam production, thermodynamics we'll see in the coming classes. Okay, thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubt, please approach me. Thank you one and all.